said anything. And even with that, that means like Henri could paint over to you to go back to this comment and say, I'm not listening to your critique of me. You ain't played for Arsenal. You ain't played for Barcelona. You ain't played at this. You ain't done that. Everybody's allowed an opinion. Without us fans, it doesn't matter what these players, Ballon d'Or and all these things. Without them, obviously, we're not watching the sport that we love. So yeah, we keep hearing the same things though. We know we want a striker. We know we're rather fond of Isaac, but we're not going to get him. Sesko and Gyokeres seem to be all the range. We know we've got an interest in Gyokeres Frankfurt, which has been touted as an alternative solution. So has João Pedro. Ollie Watkins in January was there. Arsenal would also like to add a backup goalkeeper, midfielder, and wide player during the transfer window. Defensive reinforcements could also be on the menu, but that is more dependent on outgoings. Atletico Bilbao winger Nico Williams is a long-term target. He has a release clause of around 50 million. Reports in Spain have claimed Real Madrid's Rodrigo may be available this summer. He would surely interest Arsenal as well as other Premier League clubs. Zubimendi is expected to join. We remain keen on Mr. Garcia of Espanyol. In terms of outgoings, we know Tini's cutting, Jorginho's cutting, Neto's cutting, Sterling's cutting. On paper, we know that we want to get him to renew his contract, but on paper, Partey's gone. Tavares is already basically a Lazio player. It's come out that Lokonga's actually signed a new deal, better yet taking out his option, but we'll go over his interview. He sounded like he's going to cut. Fabio Vieira, I reckon, unpopular opinion, listen, Fabio Vieira and Nelson have to cut in it, but we might have to keep one of them, like them kind of, not necessarily those players. We might have to keep them because we're not going to let 10 go and bring in 10. Couple of those kind of weird ones might have to stay for depth purposes. Now, admittedly, I want to get them off the wage bill. Admittedly, I'm sure Nelson and Fabio Vieira, like Lokonga, you need to leave. Like, as a footballer, like you're at Arsenal, you're contracted by Arsenal, you're employed by Arsenal, but you're here for like 6 months and then you're gone. You need stability, and we need to clear up the wage bill. We all know Zinchenko's got a year left on his contract, people, and apparently will be allowed to leave if the right offer comes in. Dortmund were keen on him in January. I reckon he leaves, yeah, but being devil's advocate, do you not believe there's a couple players at our football club that like we have to make you move more than you have to leave? Now, obviously, they want first team football. And I know when it comes to footballers, people, oh, money is scary, that they're getting paid a lot. But devil's advocate, what if Zinchenko is sitting there with the mindset on one hand, like, yeah, I want to leave. The club wants me to go. I want to go play football. I'm seeing an academy player take my spot. I've won trophies at City. I need to feel important somewhere. But what if he says, you know what, I was an Arsenal fan growing up. If I run my deal down, I might be more attractive to other clubs. I get my loyalty bonus. My wife and kids are comfortable here. You know, we've been talking about depth, have we not, people? We've been waffling about depth. What if he's thinking, Mikel Arteta might have to, you know, I might get options in midfield if Odegaard's struggling. Maybe he needs to keep me around. There's been a bit of injuries. If he's going to be more flexible with rotation, then there's that. What if Dortmund or whoever make an offer for Arsenal say it's not acceptable? What if we get an offer that is acceptable and Zinchenko says, you know, I'm not really feeling that. The wages are not waging. I'm not saying he's like that, and please don't misunderstand me, but there's a couple of players we got to remember in that angle, man. So yeah, DG Partey will get a new contract, then a paper cut, and we out for a few weeks. Let him go and get better. I hear you, man. Less of that though. That's the only thing with Thomas? Like, is it that age-old thing of last year, the contract, you're fit? Because Partey's a weird one, man. I think when Partey's fit and available, and he's one that he's not really like, he can't be injured and then just come back in and you're great. He like needs to play his way into it. Like what? He came out the side against PSG for the first leg. Whatever game it was in the Premier League after that, he was pony. He's a weird one. But bring me Zubimendi, get me Partey. Do all the other things. I would like 2 centre midfielders. Berta, I beg you, put on the wall 2026, 27, the next centre mid. So we'll have to see. Kiwior has started in the last 11 games of the season. It is unclear if he will leave Arsenal this summer. I wouldn't necessarily let Kiwior leave. I think there's a bag of players that need to go before him. I think we need to keep him for depth. What if he thinks, yeah, do you know what? Maybe the manager says, you know what? You can rotate Magalhaes and Saliba and throw me in at centre half, not necessarily left back. What if he thinks, you know what? I've got a taste of first team football. I've played against Real Madrid. I coped well. I'm actually him. What if he says, you know what? I want to leave. And I'd understand it, because where you look at half of these guys that are linked with moves away, yeah, obviously exclude Tavares because he's basically gone. You look at Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, Zinchenko, Kiwior. Of all them names, yeah, who's probably got the biggest market? Surely it's Kiwior. Again, links and actually bidding are different things, but the links back to Italy have never gone away with Kiwior. You'd imagine they've been accelerated. being devil's advocate, I know it's not the same, but sometimes I feel we don't always sell at the right time, if that kind of makes sense. Like there was a time Ainsley Maitland-Niles, like I said, different, but he was leaving. He got a look in. He was playing well. We rejected 30 odd million quid from Wolves and Everton, reverted back to type. We all know how that worked out, man. Nah, I don't, man. I'd keep part if it's up to me. So yeah, apparently there's a string of clubs in Italy looking at Kivior. We know about the pre-season plans. We're heading to Hong Kong. I must admit, I miss watching our football club. I can't wait till July because, you know, big up the Americans, but I do hate pre-season when we go to America because I have to do watch-alongs at some stupid times, man. So it's nice. I think these ones would work out about 12:30 UK time, but we know we're going to Hong Kong. We know we've got AC Milan, Newcastle, and Tottenham Hotspur. Haven't really learned anything there, have we, people? Moving away from that, Arsenal are currently organising Martin Zubimendi's medical with all relevant documents having been signed already. The deal is entering the final stages and all parties are relaxed, says Sammy Motbell. He's set for a medical before his 51 million Arsenal move. And I know it's not the same, and I know transfers drag out, yeah, but to me as an armchair expert, waking up, it seems Wirtz is going Liverpool. City are doing what they're doing. This one's doing what they're doing. Gyokeres is all dragged out to the point where we're hearing about his uncle and wife's thoughts on potentially leaving Sporting. Zubimendi, I think, you know what, I'm quality player, but I think Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Bayern, probably even Sociedad and Real Madrid fans, everybody's probably tired of hearing about Zubimendi. Been hearing this, and I know it's a long process, but in your isolated case, Zubimendi, I don't really want to talk or hear about you until I see you in an Arsenal shirt. Think you're a bloody good footballer. Think you're a good addition, but it's long now. Anyways, people, he's set to have a medical before completing the switch. Apparently, well-placed sources have confirmed to the BBC Sport that all relevant documents in relation to the Spain international switch to the Emirates have been signed, with the deal entering its closing stages. The transfer is subject to a successful medical that Arsenal in the process of organising. Because the paperwork for Zubimendi's switch has been completed, all parties are relaxed about the scheduling of the medical, but there's a will to wrap up the formalities of the deal swiftly. Once the 26-year-old passes the medical, Arsenal will be in a position to announce Zubimendi's signing. Zubimendi has a reported 51 million release clause with all payment structures between Sociedad and Arsenal already agreed. They must have, because why would Sociedad sanction a medical? Arsenal have been long-term admirers of Zubimendi and have been working on a deal to sign him for a number of months. Big up Jason Ito. In addition to Zubimendi's imminent arrival, the Gunners want to sign a central forward with Benjamin Sesko and Gyokeres among their preferred targets. Talks over new contracts for Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Leandro Trossard, Thomas Partey, Miles Lewis-Kelly, and Ethan Nwaneri are also ongoing. So yeah, man, at this point, we know why we want you. We need a midfielder. You can see how Rice blossoming in that 8 role, Zubimendi in the 6. You can see how it works, people. So there's that. Romano's chimed in. Arsenal's plans for midfield are confirmed after Jorginho's exit. Jorginho has confirmed he's cutting. Martin Zubimendi will formally complete his move soon with medical/signature. Here we go, confirm. Negotiations also underway for Thomas Partey's new deal. Spare a thought for Burt. He's got a lot to do. I mean, it seems like we're heading in that way, but I've just thrown this out there yesterday. Well, not even yesterday, earlier today. Martin Zubimendi is waiting for a call from Real Madrid despite his agreement to join Arsenal this summer, according to the Spanish media. So I have to see where that's going. But yeah, I've covered that in a previous vid. What's the point? From Spain, everything points to player joining Arsenal, but call from Real Madrid can ruin it. Everything points to the player heading to Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Everything could change with a call from Real Madrid. I think that's on the case that Real Madrid need midfield additions. Xabi Alonso worked with Zubimendi. Obviously, the Spanish impetus there, I don't really buy it. If Real Madrid goes all out for him, the Spanish international will go to the Spanish capital, although everything points to London and Arsenal. I mean, it's Real Madrid, isn't it? Arsenal finished a league campaign without a single player scoring 10 or more goals for the first time since 1923-24. Obviously, there was injuries, but it further highlights the need for more attacking additions to share the burden. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. Prize money 177.8 million from the Premier League. I don't know if that's true, my friend, but fair play. Vice President of Sporting Francesco Salgado Zena has revealed Sporting have not received any offers for Viktor Gyokeres. At the moment, there are no offers. He has 3 more years on his contract. We want to keep the best players and retain talent. They're going to do that. AEGA, 63 goals and 17 assists in 57 games. That he's got to be a legend at Sporting, surely. Izan Khan, I believe, of the Daily Mail is behind the paywall. On the left wing, Nico Williams is Arsenal's priority, but his wages make it difficult to do. Rafa Leao and Jamie Gittins have been looked at too. So because they've been name dropped, are they the ones? Going back over what the Sporting brother said, we've gone over that. At the moment, there are no offers. He has 3 more years on his contract. I think the answer has been given. Sporting's transfer plans won't be any different from last year. Pardon me, we want to keep the best players and retain talent. We want to continue to be champions, have competitive teams, and fight on all fronts. I've been in this role for 7 years. In 7 years, when Sporting were champions, we made even few sales than in other years. The fact that we are champions gives us greater ability to retain players and talent. Coincidence or not, we have not had to sell any players in those times. Not that we have received any offers, but the market is not under our control. We're always dependent. It's thought Gyokeres could be snapped up this summer for around 60 million, and the striker apparently was coy on his future. We'll see. It's football. You never know what can happen. It's impossible to say anything for sure. I don't know anything. I tried to focus on the last few games. If something is true, we'll see. Fair play. And yeah, his girlfriend, I'm not going to read, I've read this far too often, but yeah, long story short, his girlfriend has promised fans that she's going to try and get him to stay in Portugal. Apparently, his uncle chimed in as well and said, "Oh, we had a meeting. He's going to stay." I don't know. I know happy wife, happy life. You have to listen to your family, etc. But you have to live your life with no regrets. At the end of the day, yeah, whatever financial benefits your family are getting in the life they're living is because of you. Whether you want to go to Arsenal, this one, that one, make sure that you do what you need to do. You're 26, turning 27. This is a big move for you wherever else you go in this day and age where the striker market is crap. You seem like a good market opportunity. If you want to stay at Sporting, fair play. Apparently, it was reported on Tuesday that Arsenal had sent reps to Lisbon for talks with Gyokeres' agent over a deal, people. So at this point, everybody's heard the same things. You know, we hear that it will take 58.66 million pounds, which equates to about 70 million euros, presented with a 5-year deal of 7 million, worth 7 million euros, which is about 5.8 million quid, and a signing on bonus of around 10 million quid. So we're hearing the same things at this moment in time, people. But at this point, it's probably one that's just all these journalists. It's going to get engagement in it. You talk about Arsenal, Man United in primarily, you're gonna get engagement. So we've heard all this 5-year deal stuff, and 70 million bids have been placed, and agents have been having talks with Berta. And I have no doubt that everybody's talking with everyone, but get over the line. We have been linked with Nick Waltmade, people, who scored 12 goals in 28 Bundesliga appearances for Stuttgart, out of just 17 starts. Who is a forward? He's 23, stands at 6'6", so you can see why he's be alerted to Arsenal. Arsenal and Napoli apparently have made contacts with Stuttgart to inquire. He's won a trophy there as well. Atletico Madrid and West Ham are said to be interested as well. In an ideal world, I'd love 3 attackers. I'd love 3 attackers and 2 centre midfielders, maybe 3 centre mids, a 10, an 8, and a 6. But I know we don't live in that. I'd love a Gyokeres. I would love like a number 2 kind of striker. I still think you need a left winger. Marry that in with the existing options. I think we're laughing, but we need to get one through the door first. Apparently, Arsenal were left slightly shaken when Benjamin Sesko signed a new contract at Leipzig last summer. The Gunners were confident they had laid the groundwork to get the deal over the line. So expect the unexpected. Player left out of club's tour as Arsenal position themselves for transfer. Gunners need to start at 70 million euros. If this is around Sesko, was he not in Brazil? This is said Sesko will be left out on the club's PR tour to Brazil as Arsenal position themselves for a transfer. That's according to Blind, who report Leipzig don't want to take any risk with the Slovenian because he's their big sellable asset. They explain that Sesko missed Tuesday's training session due to a slight knee irritation and will not be playing on Wednesday either. He was seen in slight pain after training this week. I saw him surfing on social media. Leipzig don't want to take any risk with the striker. He's their hottest transfer prospect, really, when you got Xavi Simons, and will likely make the jump to an absolute top club this summer. Leipzig are willing to start talks at 70 million, but hope it increases to 100 million. They believe the striker is a complete package despite his young age. Arsenal and United are particularly interested in him. Juventus and AC Milan are also in the mix, but it's the Gunners who are seen as the leading candidates and position themselves for the striker. Leipzig are yet to receive any concrete offers for their star man and would like clarity on the matter as soon as possible. They seemingly have their eyes on Arsenal, who have promised a big summer spend to strengthen Mikel Arteta's squad. Whether that includes the 70 to 100 million euros on Sesko remains to be seen, but Leipzig won't take any risk with him. In the meantime, right now it appears to be the German club lining up Sesko for Arsenal more so than the Gunners chasing the deal themselves. So maybe we've pivoted away from Sesko into Gyokeres. We also have been linked with Hugo Ekitike every now and again. Apparently, Liverpool are moving aggressive in his pursuit. We've been linked with Atletico's Madrid's Julian Alvarez. Does anyone believe that? I would love him at the club, but you just got your feet under the door, through the door, better yet, in Spain. And, you got a good project. You've done well there. Probably should have went further in the Champions League if it wasn't for a dodgy penalty. I'm sure the climate and the way of life and how everything is in Spain or in Madrid is a lot more mimics Argentina than Manchester. And you got Argentine gaffer, you got a bunch of Argentine teammates. I'm sure they've all got Argentinian girlfriends. Probably got a good little social life over there. And it's always felt with Julian Alvarez that, not that he's not humble, but he just wanted a bit more importance. And you've got all of that. Man said, move on from the Sesko guy. I want Gyokeres. I've said that bit, but I think some of you sleep on Sesko too much. I think he's going to be a bad boy forward, but I'm not really on this training strikers business. I want a couple of players that are just ready right now. Sesko is required. Big up DG, fellow mods in chat. Hope you're all blessed. Hope you're all doing blessed. Jerome, my guy, love Arsenal, hate the ops. I hear that. DG, what's the hardest league, Germany or Portugal? I'd take Sesko. Germany for me. But I'm not being funny, man. And I know there's a bag of guys in Portugal or that were in Portugal that moved to other leagues and it's been dead. But again, unless there's something different, yeah. The game that we all love, whether you play in England, France, or whatever, unless you're Arsenal, typically there's 11 players out there on each team. So there's 22 players. The pitch dynamics are the same. The goals are the same. If you can score goals there, you can score goals here. And I'm not going to sit and act like some Gyokeres expert, but what I've seen of you at Coventry, what I've seen of you at Portugal, you show me variety in your play away from goals over 90 minutes. You show me versatility in how you score. You're a thinker's man's footballer. Obviously, every signing's a risk. And at least if Sesko fails, there's a lot more upside, even though Sesko, based on reports, seems a bit more expensive. Gyokeres is just right now. And for me, it's something away from what we normally do. We very rarely sign players that, I'm not saying he can't improve and get better, but kind of what you see is what you get from Gyokeres at this moment in time. With Sesko, yeah, you got 21 goals this season, 13 in all comps. And I actually like you. I feel a lot of you are harsh, but it's more that diamond needs to be polished. Like, we could have got him last year. He didn't want to go. Is he a significant? And I know it's been a troubled season for Leipzig this year, but is he a significantly better player than last year? I don't know. And I don't know Sesko probably, you got to be a starter in it, but is Sesko going to be the starter or is that more of a rotationary guy? Gyokeres surely has to be that. And I know I'm being a bit silly with this comment, yeah, but you didn't want to, I'm sure you had your reasons. You wanted to stay at Leipzig, another season on your belt, all of that kind of stuff, develop without pressure, all them kind of things. But if you're a serious striker and Arsenal are onto you, I'm not here to say we're the best, but you're going to join an exciting project where we're on the cusp of stuff. We're doing this youngster thing, growing players. Arteta is seen as one of the innovative managers. There's the London aspect as well. You're 21, probably the cutoff point of when we were a big bad club. And you look beyond all of that, bro. Respectfully to Kai Havertz, that's a centre mid playing up front. You think you can't finesse his spot? It makes too much sense to go and join us. So if you got scared, maybe, you were speaking to Arteta, he said stuff and it weren't making sense. That makes me think, ooh. And even if Gyokeres was disabled, I don't think he would be. But if you don't think you can take Havertz's spot, I don't know what's going on there. Romano, I don't believe the Julian Alvarez links, people. 100%. I don't believe the links. But in terms of humoring you, Romano said something. Atletico Madrid absolutely want to keep Julian. There's interest from the Premier League. It's true for sure. But Athletic insist on keeping him. I wonder if Man City regret selling him. To be fair, surely, and I know it's all at different times, yeah, but where City are at now, I always wonder, like, what if you kept hold of Cole Palmer, of Julian Alvarez, of Morgan Rogers? Like, where would you have been? Premier League clubs. I have no doubt with Berta coming in, he might have floated the name. Chelsea were linked with him, so I think them. You never know. He'd fit it. Everyone, Liverpool need a forward. It could make sense, but yeah, man, I don't think it's happening in it. And they spent 81 million quid on him. They'd be selling him back here. They know the Premier League has money. It's not making sense. Liverpool have been linked with him as well. Arsenal and Liverpool have both been linked with Kubo as well. People like him, think he's versatile. Be another Sociedad player. Don't really think he's a game changer, but you tie into the squad. Probably a better wide option or someone with the ability to play out there than a Nelson and a Vieira and all of these kind of guys. So we'll have to see what is exactly going on there. Apparently, it's been reported Kubo's availability is once again piquing Arsenal's interest as they look at options in attack. Kubo, who registered 11 goal contributions for Sociedad last season, has rejected a recent 160 million move to Saudi. Oof. Apparently, there's a 50% sell-on clause in his contract because he was at Real Madrid. So I wonder what that would mean for negotiations. Anyone having Jack Grealish for 40 million, it seems like his days are numbered. I reckon he goes to Villa. It screams Spurs. I'm never going to give up the agenda. I want to Embuemo at the carpet, people. 20 goals, bring him. Regardless of what you're doing with Gyokeres and all that, bring him. We've been linked with Morgan Gibbs White, people. Apparently, we've thrown our hat into the ring. Anyone having him? I have spoken about that previously as well. Man United are leading contenders to sign 16-year-old Southampton defender Harley Emsdale James, but face competition from Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal. So it seems like everyone wants this emerging talent. Apparently, we've made a £59 million bid to sign Gyokeres from Sporting. Apparently, Espanyol's position is clear. They do not want to negotiate with anyone regarding Garcia. If you want him, you must pay the 25 million euros release clause. There's no intention to reduce that amount. So we'll have to see. Again, Hugo Ekitike seems like he's going to Liverpool. Arsenal have exercised the option to extend Lokonga's contract by an additional year. The Belgian's agent has met with Berta and he'll now be contracted until next summer. Now, I think that's just to help us in negotiations of moving him out, people. He has spoken about how he wants to. He actually spoke in an interview about, bigged up Arteta, bigged up Arsenal, spoken how much he learned, spoke on that he wants to go to the World Cup and he wants some stability. Your days at Arsenal to say they're numbered is being a bit too kind. Spurs have been offered Leroy Sané, is typically linked with us. Any takers? Real Madrid allegedly plan to balance the books this summer through the sale of a big name, and Rodrigo is the most likely player to be sold. Arsenal are interested in a Brazilian who'd command a fee of around 80 million euros. Bring me Rodrigo. If you can't come back with at least Luis Diaz, brilliant Luis Diaz, that's a Liverpool one, Brahim Diaz. Right now, apparently, Rodrigo doesn't have any offers. The interest from Arsenal is real, but potential move is a long way off. Arsenal, or better yet, Arsenal sporting director Berta has allegedly held talks with Rafael. We've heard that before. We're closely scouting Mitoma of Brighton, who's got 2 years left on his deal, the 28-year-old. I mean, you know what? Yeah, we might have to bring you as part of the coaching stuff. Didn't he do a dissertation or something at uni on the art of dribbling? Martinelli, go read that. I'm sure the first page must say, pick up your head. Anyways, it's all love, Martinelli. But yeah, man, the Kubo guy's contract is until 2029. I don't know why he's being linked with Arsenal and Liverpool. Maybe they both clubs genuinely want him. Maybe he's one that it seems like a divorce is happening between Sociedad and himself. I don't know, people. Apparently, Premier League clubs have been knocking on the door, mainly Liverpool and Arsenal. Apparently, the Japan international has changed agents and his new reps will have a meeting with La Real this week. There's a lack of clarity around the Spanish club's new project after failing to qualify for Europe. So now you're seeing probably why these links have kind of stemmed, people. Obviously, they've seen their manager leave, Roberto Alabi, who I wasn't saying get better because I didn't see his links. I'm happy with better. I wanted Alabi or Campos to take that position. He's got a 60 million release clause. It's unclear if Arne Slot's side and the Gunners are willing to activate it. AS point out former club Real Madrid are entitled to receive 50% of his sale. And I mean, this states he prefers to operate on the right-hand side where you've got Mohamed Salah and you've got Bukayo Saka. So we'll have to see. He would be back up. But there's a lot of game time. We're always linked with Aston Villa players, man. We used to get linked with Douglas Luiz all the time. We've been linked with Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, and we've been linked with Jacob Ramsey. I don't know if I buy it. I do think we like him because we were linked with him a couple of years ago. But I think it's easy to make Aston Villa rumours because, again, and I don't even know their financial position, but every summer, Newcastle, Aston Villa, they got to sell players, PSR, we see the same things all the time. We've gone over the Congo stuff. That clearly shocked me in it because I've got it up there twice. Tab Police, there's a method to the madness. We've gone over that. We know we need a striker. We've gone over that. We've gone over the hamstrings. On hamstrings, it got worse. Surely there's something to work on. Buying players, going to the right training camp, doing your cold bath, hot bath, training well, and not getting players injured. It's on the staff. Damn, Henri. I'm not even going to read the Ashley Cole comments because I know you're not going to be onto me. Happy birthday, Lacazette, by the way, man. Big him up. Jorginho did confirm he's departing the football club. Juventus apparently want to sign Gyokeres. Apparently, he's rising in position and popularity to replace Vlahovic. His salary demands are not too high, and the operation will be less expensive than that of Osimhen. Really, you want to go Italy? I hear it. Lovely way of life. Really? And if you can see the merry-go-round, didn't it? If he did go to Juventus, Mr. Vlahovic rumors would be back. So we'd have to see how that develops. Garcia hasn't closed the door on a move to Barcelona. And actually, I haven't got the tab, but apparently Osimhen's moving ever closer to a move to the Middle East. So, yeah, man, I know a lot of you still have some level of hope there. No one paying 80 M's for Xavi Simons. Happy birthday, Lacazette. Big up yourself, Kwame. Havertz should create space in the starting 11 by sitting on the bench. Boy, if Arteta gets sacked, realistically, who can we get? Not a clue, man. Saw an account that's followed by David Ornstein said Xavi Simons to Arsenal. I believe when I see it, but he's more than welcome. Scapegoating Havertz all the time when other players have cost us points in games. I haven't said anything about that. Neither Arteta nor Havertz are leaving in the next 2 years, to be honest. Marty, you're moving mad. But that's why on my channel, I like to get everyone. You have Arteta.